Welcome to this new Anno 1800 series, where the goal is that in each episode we're going to focus on one or several key productions, and I'm going to show you some key stamps that then I'll make available on my Discord community. So if you want to download all of the stamps that I'm going to show you, don't hesitate to join the Discord community. This is of course free. You can find the link in the video description below. Let's dive in today with episode 1, the schnapps production. The first happiness good or luxury good for farmers, going to give us quite a bit of money in the early game. So that's an important one. We're going to go from the really basic early game layout to the end game, with trade unions, etc. So the first stamps, level 1 basic. You have one warehouse, one fire station, because at that point you haven't even unlocked the police station yet. And then you have 4 schnapps distilleries in the corners and 4 potato farms. Each of them are one tile away so that they can deliver really quickly, right? This one delivers directly to this one. This one over here, you can see this is the yellow line, and this is the same for my schnapps distilleries, right? They have one tile to go directly into the warehouse. So super efficient. There's very little roads that are not useful. I have added around a wooden fence and some trees just to make it a bit pretty. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. Full disclaimer, there is one of those potato farms that only has 71 instead of 72 fields. You could, if you want, of course, delete one of those wooden fence and put the last remaining one, but honestly, you don't really need to, because you'll see that this will reach actually 100%. One tile actually makes no difference on the production. If you look over here at the production, you can see we're gonna produce 8. We're using 8 out of 8 of the potatoes, so it's a perfect ratio. So yes, this is the first basic one, really early game. Then let's move to the second one where you have some workers, you've unlocked the silos, for example. So at that point, you'll probably want the fire station and also the police station, in particular if you're playing with increased working conditions, that can increase the risk of explosion, the risk of riots. We have in the middle 2 warehouses, and now instead of 4, we have 10 distilleries, but we still have 4 potato farms. Why? Because we've added the silos. Remember, for each of your potato farms, as long as you have DLCs, you will have the fertilizer silos and maybe also the tractor barn. Tractor barn is a bit later in the game, right? So in this layout, you don't have access to it, let's say yet, but let's say that you have the fertilizer silo. Well, you can see that this is working. We have over here, the production. We're now producing 20 schnapps per minute, and we are producing 21 potatoes. So that's perfect. We're gonna make a bit of a surplus. That's always good. And as you can see, again, we're delivering very closely. This one delivers 1 tile, 2 tiles to those 2. This is the same over here where we have all 3, and the same on the other side. This is just a copy paste on the other side. We don't have roads where it's useless. And now for all of the farms, we actually have 72 out of 72. But to make it a perfect rectangle, I had a couple of tiles remaining. So I started to put a few trees. We have a tree over here. We have a watering hole. So if you want, you can make it even more perfect. But I thought it was good to also make it a bit prettier. Once again, I've put the fence and the trees around. You don't need them if you don't want them. But yeah, this is our second layout. You've unlocked workers, maybe artisans, but you still need, of course, quite a bit of schnapps. And this is maybe also production that you have on one island, and then it's delivering to a couple of islands. This is your level 2. Okay, and now we're moving to level 3, our first trade union, but it is a trade union that mixing both, the potato farm and the schnapp distillery. We have all at once. All of the buildings are in range of the trade union. Except over here, you can see this fuel station and the silo fuel station, but that's fine because what you need is for the farm to be inside, and the farm is inside. Warehouses, which according to my test so far were enough for this production. And now we've moved from 10 distilleries to 33 distilleries with a production without any items or without, any working condition of 66 per minute. There's a perfect equilibrium with the potatoes. 67 produce, 66 needed. So once again, that's great. Of course, once again, if you play with the working condition or if you put items, this will change. And I'm sure you're gonna put items over here. But basically what you need to do in this layout, is to have some items helping for the schnapps distilleries, but also some items helping for the farms so that the productions continues to be aligned. So with that, you can definitely feed a lot of people quite a big empire, because also remember that when you get into the higher tiers like engineers, art investors, etc., they don't need schnapps anymore, right? Okay, and now we moved into level 4, which is really the trade unions dedicated. You're gonna have a trade union just dedicated for the schnapp distillery. With this one, you can fit 58 schnapp distilleries. So this is a production of 116, once again, without any items or working condition or anything like this. So, you know, you can get to a really, really high number with a trade union like this. To be honest, I don't think you'll ever need something like this, but I made it. If you need it, once again, don't hesitate to just join my Discord community and you can find it there. And you'll combine this with a trade union for your potatoes, right? This is, for example, something like this, where you can see 28 farms with tractors and silos. So it will require a bit of fuel and fertilizer, but not that much. And with that, once again, without any items or working condition, you're producing almost 400 of potatoes. So you can have a couple of these ones. All of the farms, of course, are in range of the trade unions, not the silos and the fuel station, because you don't need that. Then you're gonna need quite a bit of warehouses. Then if it's a zero workforce island, thanks to your items, you will not need the fire station or the police station, but otherwise you probably need a couple. And then, you know, I haven't put the fields for all of the farms, but I did it for this corner. And then basically, you know, this is just symmetrical, right? You can just replicate on the other ones. And the other reason why I didn't do it is because at this point of the game, if you really want, you know, to do something like this, you're not gonna want a small rectangle like this, which is easy to duplicate. You're gonna want to take advantage of all of the small corners, right? So that's why I didn't do it. But you can use this stamp to have all of the farms done, and then you'll just have to do what I did over here, which is you always start by one corner like this one, you go, then you do the next one. Remember that your fields don't actually have to start from the farms, they can even start from the silos or from the tractor. So for example, for this one over here, right, it's totally fine that the farm is stuck over here. You can just start your modules from here. So that's basically the ultimate level. You know, you have a trade union for each, but that's not the last stamp I wanted to show you all today. Though before I show you this last one, don't hesitate to smash the like button, to share also maybe some first comments that you may have in the comments below, and also feel free to request the next production that we should look at. The last stamp I wanted to show you is actually a mix between schnapps and the war closes. The war closes being probably the next one we'll do, but look at this one. This is super small, but super efficient. This is actually the most efficient you can get. You know, there is very little road that are used over here. We have one warehouse, one distillery linked just next door to the potato farm. So once again, the potato farm, you know, will have just one tile to go over here. This one will have one tile to go into the warehouse. Then over here, we have a sheep farm. The sheep farm will have one tile to go over here into the framework knitters, and the framework knitters will have one tile to go into the warehouse. So it's a perfect, you know, we are not using roads for things that we don't need to, and we have a perfect 72 out of 72 for the fields. And then of course you can just copy that as many times as you need, because the consumption of work closes is basically the same as the consumption of schnapps. So as soon as you grow your population, your city, you know, your number of residences, you can just duplicate this, grow it more and more. And then maybe at some point, you know, you realize, okay, I don't need so many warehouses. You can delete this warehouse, and then you can put, you know, a fire station over here. But yes, this is a simple, really cool one that I like. I hope this video was useful, entertaining. Don't hesitate to smash the like button, and I hope to see you next time.